I used to believe that after 12 years of marriage, there was nothing left to surprise me about my wife, Emily. I thought I knew every expression that flashed across her face, every tone her voice could take, every habit she had picked up over the years. I trusted her in the way a man trusts gravity, blindly, instinctively, without question. But trust can shatter quietly. It doesn't always explode. Sometimes it chips away so softly that you only notice the ruins when it's too late. It started with something small. For the past few months, Emily had developed a new habit, stepping outside to take certain calls. She would smile at me, brush a strand of hair behind her ear, and say, "Just a moment, it's work." At first, I believed her. Why wouldn't I? She worked in marketing. Calls weren't unusual. But they became more and more frequent, always with the same soft smile, always around the same time in the evening, always ending with a short exhale that sounded like relief. One night, she left her laptop open on the couch while she went to shower. I didn't mean to look. Truly, I didn't. My eyes simply caught a notification in the corner of the screen, a message preview, a name I didn't recognize, a sentence that turned my blood cold. "Same time tomorrow? I miss hearing your voice." There were no hearts, no kisses, no emojis, but I didn't need them. The tone was enough. It was familiar, intimate, too soft to be work-related. I didn't open the message. I just sat there, staring at the screen like it was mocking me. When Emily came out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel and humming lightly, she saw me on the couch and froze for a second. A heartbeat. Maybe two. Then she forced a smile, closed the laptop, and kissed the top of my head, something she hadn't done in months. But that night, I lay awake long after she had drifted off beside me. Her breathing was peaceful. Mine wasn't. Over the next days, the signs multiplied. Emily was suddenly dressing better for work. More makeup, more perfume, new lingerie I hadn't seen her wear once in the bedroom. She guarded her phone like a security vault. Notifications disabled, password changed, always face down. But the breaking point came on a Friday evening. She thought I had already left for a late meeting, but I'd returned home because I had forgotten the flash drive on the table. I parked quietly and came through the back door. And then I heard her voice. Not the cheerful tone she used with friends, not the professional voice for work. This voice was softer, lower, private. She wasn't alone in the room. She was on speakerphone. "No, he suspects nothing," she whispered. "He still thinks everything is normal. Honestly, I don't even know how he doesn't see it. I mean, how blind can someone be?" Her words stabbed deeper than anything I had imagined. I froze behind the half-open door, breath stuck in my chest. The man on the other end chuckled. A deep voice, confident, too comfortable. "You said he'd figure it out by now," the man replied. "But maybe he just doesn't want to know. Men like that don't want the truth. They just want their little fantasy." Emily laughed softly. A laugh I hadn't heard in months. A laugh she never gave me anymore. Then she said something that made my knees go weak. "I think he'll break when he finds out. He's not as strong as he pretends." I felt something inside me collapse. My wife, the woman I had promised my life to, was behind that wall, talking about me like I was some clueless fool, talking to another man who clearly knew her far more intimately than I realized. And in that moment, I understood. I didn't know my wife at all. Not anymore. Not even close. I didn't remember leaving the house. My body moved on its own, like instinct had taken the wheel while my mind tried to process what I'd just heard. I walked around the block twice before the cold air started biting at my cheeks and forcing me back into myself. By the time I returned home, Emily had already ended the call. She was in the kitchen, stirring a pot of soup like nothing had happened, humming a stupid melody that made my jaw clench. She turned when she heard me. "Oh, you're back? I thought you had a meeting." Her smile was perfect, practiced, the same smile she'd given me for years. But now I could see the cracks behind it, like a mask slipping ever so slightly. "I forgot something," I said. A lie. But then again, she had fed me lies for months. Her eyes flicked to my face. Something in my expression must have bothered her. Or maybe she sensed the shift in the air. She stepped closer and placed her hand on my arm. "You okay? You look pale." Pale. Broken was closer to the truth. But I forced myself to breathe slowly. If I confronted her now, I'd scream. I'd break dishes. I'd break myself. And I knew that if she felt cornered, she'd lie her way out of it. She was good at that. Too good. So I didn't give her the satisfaction. "I'm fine," I said, gently pulling my arm away. For the first time, she froze. A tiny reaction, barely noticeable. But after hearing her speak behind my back, I picked up on everything now. She was nervous. Good. That night, I didn't sleep. She lay beside me, scrolling through her phone under the blanket, screen angled away. Every time I shifted, she locked the screen. Every time I breathed too deeply, she glanced over to check if I was awake. It was like sharing a bed with a stranger. Around 2 a.m., she got up, tiptoed out of the room, and whispered into her phone in the hallway. I didn't need to hear it to know who she was talking to. When she returned, she slipped back into bed and draped an arm over my chest, like she used to do years ago, when everything between us was real. But now it felt fake, staged, performed. I waited for her breathing to turn slow and steady before gently moving her arm away. Because I had made a decision. I wouldn't confront her yet. I wouldn't beg for the truth. I wouldn't cry or explode or demand explanations. No, I would watch. I would listen. I would collect every piece of her betrayal until the picture was complete. And when I finally confronted her, she wouldn't be able to run from it. The next morning, Emily left for work earlier than usual. She kissed me goodbye on the cheek, almost too sweetly, and grabbed her bag like she couldn't wait to get out of the house. I watched from the window as she got into her car, and then hesitated. She checked her mirrors twice, then stayed parked for nearly a full minute before finally driving off. She was scared. Good. She should be. I waited 10 minutes, then followed her. I stayed far behind, just close enough to keep her in sight. She drove across town, not toward her office, but to a cafe she never mentioned, in a part of the city she never visited. And there he was. A tall man with broad shoulders and expensive taste, clean-cut, confident, the kind of man who thought the world belonged to him. He stood when she walked in, and the look they exchanged. God. It felt like someone was scooping out my insides with cold fingers. She touched his arm. He leaned in closer than necessary. Her face softened. The same softness she used to reserve for me. I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. Their conversation was animated. Hers, glowing. His, full of smugness. At one point she laughed. that same laugh I heard through the door when she mocked me behind my back. And at that moment I understood something painful and humiliating. She didn't just betray me. She disrespected me. She looked down on me. She treated me like a fool. And I wasn't going to let her walk away unscathed. I drove home before she noticed me watching. I went straight to my office, locked the door, and took out a notebook. A plan started forming. Not out of anger, though I had more of it than I could contain. Not out of jealousy, though seeing her with him made my stomach twist. But out of something colder, sharper, clearer. If Emily wanted to see how blind I really was, if she wanted to mock me, if she thought I would break, then she had no idea who I truly was. She had no idea what I was capable of when pushed far enough. And now, she had pushed me too far. I didn't sleep the night before I confronted her. Not because of fear, not because of heartbreak, but because I wanted clarity. Sharp, unforgiving clarity. By morning, I knew exactly what to do. I waited until she left for work. Then I picked up my phone, called my friend who worked in IT security, and asked him for a favor. Nothing illegal, just a simple recovery of deleted messages and call logs from my wife's cloud backup. "Are you sure you want this?" he asked. "Yes." 20 minutes later, I had everything. Every call, every chat, every photo she thought she had erased, every message where she complained about me, mocked me, pitied me, and flirted with a man she labeled in her contacts as Eric Consulting. There was nothing professional about those messages. And worst of all, the timestamp of the first deleted chat. 7 months ago. My chest tightened, but I didn't fall apart. Not this time. Instead, I packed a small suitcase with her clothes, placed it gently by the living room door, and waited. Emily walked in around 6:40 p.m., laughing into her phone, a laugh I once loved and now despised. When she saw me sitting in the armchair across from the door, she froze. "Tom, why are you sitting in the dark?" She closed the door slowly, eyes darting toward the suitcase. "What's happening?" I leaned forward, elbows on knees, voice calm, too calm. "Emily, please end the call." She swallowed, muted the phone, didn't hang up. So I repeated, "End the call." She did. "So," she said, crossing her arms to appear confident, "are you going to explain why you're acting like this?" "Sure," I said. "But first, answer a question. Who is Eric?" Her face drained of color so fast it was almost impressive. I told you," she stammered. "A co-worker from the consulting branch." I pulled out my phone and tapped the screen once. Her phone buzzed instantly. Every recovered message, every photo, every deleted conversation. I watched her stare at her screen. Then she whispered, "Tom, I can explain—" "Don't," I cut her off. "You've already explained everything to him." She blinked rapidly, panic rising. "Please listen to me. It wasn't serious, I felt—" "Neglected?" I asked. "Lonely? Unappreciated?" I heard. She froze again. "And I heard something else," I continued. "You think I'm blind. You think I'm weak. A fool. Someone who should be grateful you're still here." "Tom, I never—" "You said it," I interrupted. Word for word. Behind my back. Tears welled in her eyes. She reached toward me, but I stepped back. "No," I said, quietly. "You don't get to touch me right now." She broke. Actual tears, not manipulative ones, the kind that come when the truth finally hits someone like a brick. "I made a mistake," she whispered. "A horrible one. I didn't mean any of it. I was stupid. jealous of your calmness, your stability. I thought you didn't care. You thought wrong, I said. But now you'll listen. I walked past her, opened the suitcase by the door, and gently pushed it toward her feet. If you want to leave, I said, go. I won't stop you. She stared at the bag like it was a live grenade. But, I added, if you want to stay, really stay, then things change now. No more secrets. No more lies. No more pretending I'm less than I am. Her knees buckled slightly, and she grabbed the door frame to keep herself upright. Tom, I don't want to leave, she said through tears. I want to fix this. I want to fix us. Please, please don't give up on me. I searched her face for any sign of manipulation, any trace of the woman who mocked me. But all I saw was fear, regret, and genuine shame. For the first time in months, maybe years, I saw the real Emily. Not the polished version, not the social climbing version, not the version who performed for others. Just her. I took a slow breath. I'm not sure I can forgive you today, I said honestly, but I'm willing to try. If you'll actually fight for us, not for appearances, not for status, but for us. She nodded rapidly, wiping her cheeks. I will, she whispered. I swear I will. And one more thing, I added. She froze. You ever talk about me like that again? You ever treat me like a fool? You ever make me feel small just to make yourself feel big? I stepped closer. Then I walk, no second chances. She nodded again, slower this time. I understand. We didn't magically heal overnight. Trust isn't a switch you flip back on. But over the next weeks and months, something changed in her. Truly changed. She started listening, apologizing, showing vulnerability instead of superiority. And I, for the first time, started being honest about my own needs. The marriage we rebuilt wasn't the same as before. It was rawer, more real, more equal. I didn't forgive everything, but I forgave enough to move forward. Months later, we were sitting on the porch at sunset. She rested her head on my shoulder and whispered, I'm glad you didn't give up on me, or on us. I looked at her, really looked, and realized something. I didn't stay because I was weak. I stayed because I finally understood my worth, because I finally demanded respect, because sometimes the strongest decision isn't walking away. It's forcing someone to see the real you and watching them rise to meet you. And Emily did. For the first time, she met me as an equal. And that was all I ever wanted.